So in this part of this Django CRUD Web Application tutorial, we will continue with the create part of the CRUD functionality, but here we will create and use an HTML form. So in the previous create part example, we just created new data in the database directly from the view without any graphical user interface. But typically we will want the user of the application to create these data from the graphical user interface inside the application. So in order to do that, we can create and use a so-called HTML form. So we will create a new Django template, which will basically be a new HTML page. And inside there, we will create this HTML form. We also need to update the customer new view that we created earlier. So basically, we have this list of customers, but now we want to create a graphical user interface that is accessible for the user of the application. So when you click on this button, which we will also create, new customer, this will new web page will pop up where you are able to enter new information about a customer with first name, last name, email, phone number, address, etc. So basically we start to create a new template here in the template folder. So then right click, new file, and you can call the file whatever you like, but since this file is going to create a new customer, I can call it customer_new.html or something. And in order to save some time, I just also copy this customers.html file and use that one as a starting point for our application. But now we don't need this table, so I just delete it. So then table part is removed like this. So instead of customers here, we can enter or type new customer like this, and here you will here you can create a new customer or something. So that's the starting point, and now we need to create the form itself, and then in HTML we just there's a built-in tag for that, so then we just use form, and then we specify action. More about that later. And then here we need to specify what happens when we submit this form. So far I just type new like this, and then next method. Typically we use this post method in a form like this. So now we have created an empty form here. Next we need to create the different fields within the form. So then we need to create different inputs field, text boxes for the first name, last name, email, phone and address. So then input type equals to text like this. Typically also we want to have an ID for it, a unique identifier. So then this will be the first name, and also we want to have a name, and then also this one is first name like this. So now we have created a text box for the first name. Then basically we can copy this one and make one for the last name, email, phone, address. But before we do that, we can, since we are using Bootstrap, I use this Bootstrap class equals to form control like this. Also on top of the form, we can also use this Bootstrap syntax or class. So then div class form group, since you are creating a group of form objects, one for the first name, last name, etc. Like this. And the end tag goes here. Typically, you also want to include a label for this form, so then just use this label, which is part of HTML, label, like this. And inside the label, so then we need to specify what for which object this label should be. It should be for the first name, so label for first name, like this. Also here we use a bootstrap class, and here we have one for the form label, like this. And then here we need to specify the label name, so in this case just first name or something like this. So now we have created an input text box for the first name, then we just copy it, one for the last name, one for the email, one for the phone, and finally one for the address. And then you just need to change the name for these different text boxes. So this is the first name, here should be the last name. So just do some copy pasting, last name, and then change this one to last name, and then this should be the email, this, and then type text ID should be email, name should be email, and then here we have the phone, like this, phone here, and then the label name, just phone, something like this, and then finally the address. This, and then change the ID to address, and then finally the name to address. So basically now we have created a new form, and we have created this form inside a web page or a template, as it's called in Django, and this template is called customer_new, like this. So now the template should be finished. Now we need to update our view. We started to create this view where we just hard-coded some data, but now we want to retrieve the data that are created by the user inside this form. So then instead of this part of code, we need to here in the beginning, so then if this request which is an input to the view, if request dot method equals to post, like this. So since this form is it has the method post, we also check for it here. So if the request method is equal to post, we just need to retrieve the data from the form, and then we basically just use first name. This is just a variable, we can call it whatever we like, then equals to request dot post, like this, and then these square brackets, and then the name of the field which is entered here in the form, in this customer_new HTML file. So here we have the ID and the name, so we use this name here in the parentheses, first name, like this. And then I can basically just copy it, one for the first name, last name, email, phone, and finally address. So then I just need to update this one to last name. This should be email, this should be phone, and finally we have the address. So now we have retrieved all the information from the form. So the next step now is to actually save this information into the database. So like this. So previously we just hard-coded it like this, but now we can just retrieve information. So now we retrieve the information from the form using this request.post, put it into a variable, and then we just use the variable here instead. Like this. Oh, sorry. And the same for the others. So the last name should go here. The email goes here. Phone. And you see also when you start using the variables, it goes from light blue to dark blue. So now when I change this to phone, you see it indicating this variable is in use. So finally, for the address, like this. And after save, we need to return this message as previously. So all this code is executed when we get a post back from the form. But before we get a post back, we also need to return something. So then return, then render, and then request, and the name of this new the new template, which is customer_new.html. So then customer_new.html like this. So now when this view is executed first time, it will just return this one. Basically it will return this form to the user of the application, and then after the user enters first name, last name, email, etc., and then click on a button which we haven't created yet. So then here in the bottom of this form, here we need to create a button. So then input type equals to submit, like this, and then we can have a name for the button, value equals to save or something. And then also, since we are using Bootstrap, we can define a class here, class button danger or something. This will create a red button like this. So now when the user enters first name, last name, etc., and click the submit button, it will create a post back, and then this piece of code will be executed. And then it will retrieve the information that the user stores in the different fields for the first name, last name, email, phone, and address, and then basically just save that information to the database. After it saved this information to the database, it will return a message to the user, new customer created successfully, like this. So basically that should be it. So now let's see what's happening when I go to our web browser. So we have the startup page here. We can click on the customer link, then we go to this page, and then we have this new page like this. And now you see that the user can enter his first name, last name, email, phone, address, and click save, and hopefully that information will be stored in the database. But before we do that, we also typically want to have a button here for a new customer. So then we go back to the file called customers.html, and here in the bottom, after the table or something, here we can create this button. So then we just use A for hyperlink, an anchor tag, href equals to customers / new, which is the this URL, customers/new, like this. Then, since we are using Bootstrap, class equals to button. Here you can use success or something to create a green button. And then we need to specify a name for the button, new customer, like this. Click save, and now go back to our web page. I just close this one. I refresh this one, or I can take it from scratch. Here's the startup page. I can click on the customers. Then you go to this page, and then you see here's a list of existing customers stored in the database. And if you want to create another one, then we just click new customer. Click new customer. Okay, some spelling mistake here. Yeah, so it's here in the customers.html, it has to be customers/new, like this. So hopefully it will work. So here's the start page. Click customer, click new customer, and then we should be able to enter a new customer. So then just enter something. New customer, an email, like this, home, address, Norway or something, and click save. So far it's not working, so let's see what's wrong. Yeah, so I guess we're just missing like this. Let's try once more. Go back to the main page. I just click refresh. Click customers to go to the customers page. Now we have 3 customers in the database. I click new customer, and then I enter a new customer, first name, last name, email, phone, address, something like this, and click save. Yeah. So it seems to work, but we get CSRF verification failed. So in order to fix that, we need to use something which is built into the Django. So let's see how we can do that. So here you see, here's the solution. In the template, there is CSRF underscore token that we need to include in our template. So let's see how we can do that. So in the template, I guess we just need to use that Django tag. So I just copy it. Go to the customer underscore new .html template. So here in the beginning of the form, here I can just add this Django tag like this. So then I add the Django tag called CSRF underscore token, which is a built-in feature in Django to make sure that our form is secure from hackers. So I just save it, and let's try once more. I go to the start page, click refresh, select customers page. We have still 3 customers. I want to create another one. Click new customer. I enter a new one, like this, and click save. And then new customer created successfully. And then you can go back to the customer page, click refresh, and then you see the 4th customer has been created like this. So now it's working fine, but I want to improve something. So if I go back to the view here, which we find here, this customer new view, then after it's saved, it just gives this message, new customer created successfully. But typically we also want to go back to the main customer page, so then we can just create a hyperlink here, like this. Type go back something, and then href back to the /customers this. Yeah, instead of we have single code like this to make it work, and then go back to on a hyperlink, go back to customers or something, and the end tag /anchor like this. So now hopefully after we save the customer to the database, we will give this information to the user of the application, new customer created successfully, and then a hyperlink where you can click on to get back to the main customers page. So let's see if it works or not. So I just click refresh here, click new customer, then enter a new one, Hans Petter Andersen 2, last name 2, email, something like this, and an address, Norway, click save, and now you see new customer created successfully, go back to customers, and I click this one, I will go back to the main customer page, and then you see the new customer has been created and presented here in the list of existing customers. So that's the create part of the CRUD operation.